Preview.
Hi, my name is Mr Nurhakim Hudri. I'm 55 years old. I've been riding mountain bike and cycling local scenes for the past 20 years. And I'd like to share with you my bike experience. This is my story. I'm here to share with you all my recent race experience at the Mega Avalanche at Anjoi in France in July 2018. I decided to take up this challenge because I felt that I've been riding the local and overseas for the past 20 years, and I felt that I'm ready to take up this challenge in ways that to test my skills, my endurance in the mountain biking circle. Mega Avalanche event has been around since the year 2000, mid-2000, and it's always been in my mind since 2008. Since then, I've been basically keeping in mind of it and been training with the various disciplines, both cross country, enduro, downhill. But I felt that the past few years I was both physically, technically, also ready for this event. So I decided that I should go for this year. And for the past couple of years, I've been training hard with both various kind of mountain bike discipline, like mountain biking of cross country, enduro, downhill, whereby this Mega Avalanche is comprised of everything inside there. So basically, the past couple of years, it's been quite intensive for me, whereby I've been going for bike trips or race trips, and I felt that 2018 is the year that I should do it. This Mega Avalanche event basically comprised of nearly 30-kilometer race route, and it consists of various types of terrain. Right start from the beginning at the peak, whereby it is at more than 3,000 meters above sea level. From there, the race started on the snowy glacier slopes, whereby sometimes it's very slippery or sometimes it's very soft. So the challenge is going through the initial part of the snow stretch, nearly 2-3 kilometers, whether we can slide down or ride down fast, or you bog down and just push the bike. And it takes a lot of our energy there, I think. So after overcoming that stretch of 2-3 kilometers of snow, glaciers, snow patches, we hit the rock area, whereby this alpine rocky area, it can be very sharp near the ravine, near the hill valley. So whether sometimes the trails are laid out smoothly or sometimes it's very raw, we have to negotiate through all these several kilometers. So again, the bodies all test on the bikes, how we get down to it. So from there, the terrain changes to more of those valley alpine trails. We pass by the open field, green field of the race village, which is Anjoi, and which is about halfway the distance of the race route. Then from there, we hit the forest, whereby nearly half the race route is in the forest. And we hit down all the way to Almond. The forest trail again is quite similar a bit for me. It reminds me of trails in New Zealand and in Indonesia. But again, the way they design is many off-camber, switchback, and there's a lot of deep routes, which again remind me of my trips in Chiang Mai. So basically, the past experience of the trips or races that I've done overseas locally, it's all compressed into one in that particular race day. So at the forest area, you have roots, rust, everybody non-stop, just bash, go, turn, switch back, and just loose slopes, and we go all the way down to the end where there's basically the stream at Almond. So that takes to me, it's like more than 2 hours. Fastest can go about 1 hour plus in that category. So it's a big challenge in terms of physically, fitness, mentally, all into one package. The race actually for Mega Avalanche, due to the numbers and the various categories, I was put in the Masters category too. But due to the numbers, they have to do a pre-qualification. On Friday, there is this seeding, also called pre-qualification, whereby various groups, wave are going started. So the seeding or the waves started, whereby we also race together with all the professionals. In my seeding, I have Remy at Salon in front of me. So from there, after the seeding result, then they put in to the various group that we can race on the race day. So they basically two type of race. There are races, day 1 and day 2. Day 1 is on Saturday, and day 2 is really where all the professionals and the fast amateur, we call it the Mega Avalanche challengers and amateurs, and with the pros. While the day 1 was on Saturday. So of course, being a first timer, this old fella was trying to take it steady and try to understand the rules. So I was in the day 1, we call it Mega Avalanche Affinity. So basically, this group also comprised of variously also fast riders, but the timing is that they cannot handle the whole thing as one time in the final. So the pros and the fast guys will race on Sunday. So on Saturday is similar race also. So I completed the race within at least an hour plus before the race closed. So within the time limit, and I'm happy that I'm not the last and I have no major injuries. And but my timing was nearly about 2 hours, while the fastest in my category is about an hour 30 minutes. So they can race. So we divide into various categories, from the young guys, masters, sports kind of thing. So basically, the Mega Avalanche, they have proper planning, whereby they have this qualification seeding on Friday, so that nobody will crash together. But the starting is like similar like jamborees, mass start. But because of the volume and I think they had to divide the 2 days race, depends on your speed on the seeding day. So I'm so happy that I finished up the 2 hours, no major injuries, and I was having fun. That's the key thing. I was having fun and really enjoying the race. Whereby there's some moments where I felt, wow, I can do it. But I look back, shit, I won't do it again. That kind of scenario. There are a few I can know that they give up most of them at halfway after they go through the snow and the rocky area, and then they pass by the race village of the field. There's quite a great temptation to give up and just go hit the race village, because that you basically cover the half the race. The second half will be going further down toward the forest. Race even technical. So a few of them, after going to the rocks area, could be technical problems, injuries. Basically, it's mentally demanding. They will stop and then stop at the race area, race village, they call it, Afal West Race Village. While most of us will just carry on further to the forest and head down to the valleys. I had some near-miss, oh my god moments. Basically, some at the snow stretch whereby I go at high speed. Suddenly, there's some patches where they were soft. My front wheel just dip in and just flow off, and I landed. There's happened to be some rocks. Wow, my helmet just saved me, And then there are those at the rock area I go through whereby I have to take some drops too, and the landing was really soft. I was loose basically. Again, I followed my bike, but luckily I got a back protector and my helmet hit on the rock again. So it was, and I looked down, shit, there's a valley there, I was like, that was close. Here, I get up again and just go, while the rest of the guy also was, moving on with the crowd. So you got the race momentum, race spirit of picking up stuff again and just move. But if I have to look back, I would say, shit, that was like the valley there, I could have gone down. And if I were to do a normal ride, I would not get up fast, I would take my time. My advice for those our guys from Singapore, maybe local countries here, who want to take up the challenge of Mega Avalanche is basically to prepare themselves, both physically, technically, and mentally, because it covers everything. It's all part of the package. You cannot just be good at one area. So Mega Avalanche tested you in everything, physical, technically, and physically. So once you're able to have sufficient for these various main categories, so I think handling this race event should not be a problem. If for me at 55 I'm still able to complete it and look back at all my past rides, years of so I think if you're able to prepare by at least do a regular rides every weekend and then have some change in ride terrain, do overseas local rides in say in KL, Kerala, do some in Chiang Mai, the terrains of roads, ruts and some rocks, and you can try to some New Zealand's bike parks or those alpine trails. From there, you won't get shocked when you want to do the Mega Avalanche, whereby basically the Mega Avalanche track basically it's not like a bike park. It's very raw. And some of it is just natural, and you have to go hard. And you go. The pressure is that it's like Jamboree. Everybody go one time, and people are all behind you. And the trail is so narrow, and it's just beside the ridge line. So much pressure there, and you are so tired, and you are trying to handle the technical part of it. So there's a lot of mental strain there. So you got to prepare for this. So one thing I can advise is do as many rides, do training in terms of the fitness, and go for races to prepare yourself mentally. So other than that, I think we Singaporeans, where we're on flatlands, still able to do it. But we need to prepare ourselves. Otherwise, we risk ourselves or not able to finish, waste of time because we don't enjoy the race, risk of injury. Basically, to me, my concern is risk of injury. But if you're not prepared yourself, both physically, technically, you get tired, and that's where the accident might happen. You cannot concentrate anymore at a certain stretch. So why not having go through that myself, prepare yourself and go through. But in my mind, I feel most of us can do it. I think it's achievable for everybody, but it's not an easy thing. What my take is that it's not an easy thing. So, but then I feel that everybody should go, whereby it's like something that to finish off, or rather to have a taste. What's the next level of mountain biking race in overseas? Basically, after this, completing this Mega Avalanche, I'm looking forward to basically to enjoy my rides. I've done past years where I completed enduro racing event, multi-days, multi-stage, Trans-Anzac, both in Queenstown, South Island, and also in Rotorua, GW racing, enduro racing. Also basically in the local event, local races, and also regional, whereby in Malaysia, Indonesia, enduro racing and downhill racing. So basically those races and past years have built up for me to take up this Mega Avalanche challenge. And what's next for me is basically I feel that I wish to do more ride trips to enjoy my rides and improve my skill further. Whether I want to take up other more races, it all depends whether it's attracted me to do that challenge. But I still feel that once in a while to carry out some down races and some downhill enduro races, one day, couple of stages is good enough, whereby it challenges ourselves both physically, technically. For the rides that I've been using both locally and overseas, most of the mountain bike that I use full suspension. Basically, it can at least 27.5, 29er wheels, and the treble of 150 to 160 at the front, and the rear 140 to 160, depending on the ride, the trails. Basically, it can be an air shock or a coil shock, both front and back. It can be an air shock. For this case, it's an air shock. The front can be both coil or air shock. That suffices. It depends on the track you are using, you are racing on or riding on. So nowadays, the trail bike or all mountain bike is very capable. You can climb sufficiently, and you can go down aggressively at high speed. And you can fine tune basically your compression and rebound. So the style of decision of the type of wheel set, whether it's 29er or 27.5, again it boils down to the rider. The terrain. Sometimes a tall rider will be much better if you can maneuver around, go faster with a 29er. Or sometimes a short guy may not be suitable for 29er because it requires a lot of body movement. So for all mountain trails, it's not like XC. For all mountains, it requires a lot of technical handling movement movement and sharp precision maneuverability. So the wheel size, again, it depends on the rider. There's no one true size for them. So there's no one true wheel set that is good and that is fast. It all depends on the terrain. So basically, I believe in slightly rise, have some rise, whereby give me some more relaxed mode when I descend. And there's a dropper post so that we can up and down. When you want to climb, it goes up. When you want to go down, like this, goes down and goes down. So my preference over bikes, we have my water bottle there. When I want to go light trail enduros, I don't need to have a bike pack. But since there's some bikes, the way the specification is, you cannot put in the water bottle. So most of us are using a bike pack. So that's the fun. Either way, it all depends on the ride. So most mountain bikes, basically in the locals rides, there are many type of brands. I feel it's all competent. The way the modern design for full suspension is superb. Whatever design, whatever brand models, they will do the job. It's just a matter of we as a rider, how we want to ride it, how we want to enjoy it on the trails.